That was a tough day for England. They've got a mountain to climb now to stay in the series. We'll look back at the day's play, see where it went wrong for England, and also talk to a former Australian fast bowler. The problem I think England have had in both these test matches is pace. They haven't got enough of it. They've got good bowlers who are excellent operators in helpful conditions, but on this flat pitch at Adelaide, you really need something a bit extra. That's what Australia have got, and that's what England haven't. If you look here on Hawkeye at the difference in the average speeds of the two teams, you can see England's pace of Broad, Anderson and Ben Stokes is around the mid-80s mile an hour, with Stokes probably the quickest, Broad second, and Anderson hovering around 81, 82 miles an hour. Now, in comparison, Mitchell Johnson and also Ryan Harris are up in the 90 mile an hour bracket. In fact, Johnson over 90 miles an hour, sometimes 93, 94 miles an hour, Harris the high 80s. And that makes a huge difference if you're a batsman. The reason is you have 0.5 of a second to react to a ball if it's 82 miles an hour, and about 0.35 to 0.4 of a second if it's 90 miles an hour. So it means if I'm the left-handed cook here, that if it's 82 miles an hour from Johnson, I can probably just about get my bat down on it in time. But if it's 92 miles an hour, the ball is just past me. It's a yard quicker. The ball is past me before I've got the bat down. With a bit of extra swing as well, it's incredibly difficult to play. Now we've got Damien Fleming here, the former Australian fast bowler, just to talk about the art of bowling on Australian pitches. Is it important to try and put as much into it as you can and get as much pace off the pitch as possible?
Well, I think particularly here in Adelaide you've got to do that, because when there's not a lot of natural variation in the pitch on day one or day two, that extra change of pace is so important. But what happens on day 4 and day 5 in Adelaide, the pitch starts to provide variation, and for the quicker bowlers, reverse swing will play a really big part. That inconsistent bounce, so it brings in a lot of LBWs and bolds. So that's the way you bowl here, and probably in Sydney. But in conditions like Perth, I don't think you need to hit the pitch as hard. You've got to bowl a fuller length, make sure you're kissing a good length and forcing the batsman to drive, obviously through the offside, and those nicks will carry through. So I think Australia provides, because of the variation in pitches, that actually gives a good cricket education for quicker bowlers, because you've almost got to have different strategy for each pitch.
Do you think England can get out of this?
I think they can. It's so important for two evenly matched teams that they can't have a shocking session. If they have a shocking session tomorrow morning, first session, England are out of this test match and they might be out of the series. But mate, they've got some good players. Peterson averages 160, I think, here. Bell, you expect if he carries on from what he did over in England, they can well and truly at their best save this test match and then go to Perth. And it's even. They could bowl well, win that test match there, and the series alive.
Wow, a bit of encouragement for the English prospects in this series from an Australian. I'll buy that. Thanks very much, Damien. Thanks for your time.